first of all, I want to apologize. And I don't remember all the guys who were exactly the guy. Vladimir Matyashenko was one of them. Grisby was one of them. And there were a few other guys that when Ariel Helwani tweeted that, they didn't know that they were cut. And that is 100% my fault. I take full responsibility for it, and I apologize. Because first of all, Vladimir Matyashenko, I've known him since we bought this company. I love that guy. I respect him very much as a fighter and have a great relationship with him, and I always have. And it's bothered me for the last 2 days that I did that to those kids. To find out on Twitter or through somebody else that you were cut instead of getting the phone call first. You know? And believe me, I got the Joe Silva fucking phone call that hadn't even been relayed to the fighters yet, you know, and I really do apologize to all the guys that happened to. Number two, this is a fucking sport just like NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, or any other sport. Now everybody is so, I mean, the words that I was reading on Twitter, fucking, this is a travesty. This is like a fucking tidal wave hit the biggest populated place on fucking planet Earth and wiped out tons of women and children and innocent people. Give me a fucking break, okay? This is a sport just like any other sport. Woodson just got cut. The Green Bay Packers just cut Woodson, okay? And a million other guys are getting cut, traded, and everything else. Jon Fitch is ranked number 9. Okay, however you want to look at that, he's ranked number 9, whether you think it's right, it's wrong, or the rankings are bullshit or whatever. Ranked number 9 right now, right? Now, this isn't a case where Jon Fitch was ranked number 9, number 7, number 6, number 4, number 2, and then we cut him. He was ranked number 1, fought for the title, then he was ranked number 2, he was ranked number 3, 6, 7, and now he's 9. That's called the downside of your career. He's on the downside. He's lost two fights, 1 draw, and 1 fight. And everybody, and then I saw stuff, I just wanted, because I got shit in my head from Twitter and all the other shit that I've been reading, right? Oh, it's because he beat Eric Silva. He beat his guy in Brazil and all this shit. Who the fuck is Eric Silva beat? That was Eric Silva's first real fight. It was a great fight. They won fight of the night. He won a bonus for it. Okay? Now, Jon Fitch can go out now, and he can, Viacom's got plenty of money. Okay? Viacom MMA isn't hurting for fucking cash. There's a lot of other places where this guy can go and he can make some money. The other thing is, Jon Fitch was ranked number 1 in the world, and yes, Jon Fitch gets paid a lot of money to put Jon Fitch on a fucking prelim or put Jon Fitch over here. The difference between Jon Fitch and Charles Woodson that just got cut, right? Jon Fitch can go get a couple more fights and come back to the UFC. Happens every fucking day, all the time. So it's not like Jon Fitch was on this incredible fucking winning streak, one of the greatest fucking welterweights in the history of the world. This guy's a fucking Hall of Famer. Guy's never won a fucking title in his life. What do you consider a Hall of Famer? If fucking Jon Fitch is a Hall of Famer, that fucking thing's gonna be packed. It's gonna be one fucking huge Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying?
How much does his style factor into it? I think that's a lot of questions.
Here's the other thing. Wait, before we get to his style, here's the other thing. Dana hates Jon Fitch. He's hated him forever, and he's just been waiting to cut him since that video game deal. Are you fucking shitting me? There's nobody in the history of this business that I hated worse than Tito Ortiz. You know what I mean? Every time I'd sit down in my chair and watch the fight, I'd be like, beat his ass. That's how bad I hated this guy. He ended his career in the UFC. There are guys, Rampage Jackson was just spewing all kinds of craziness about us. Came in the fight, he fought. I saw him in the backstage, I shook his hand before the fight. And then when he walked away, he said, you're gonna miss me. I said, I miss you already, brother. You know what I mean? No hard feelings. This whole Jon Fitch Dana battle is so fucking overrated. I don't have 1 ounce of hate for Jon Fitch. I don't hate the guy at all. I don't even dislike him. Not even a little bit. I like Jon Fitch. So give me some feedback here. So
the style? How much does his style factor into? Because
listen. What's his name? I get crazy and everything jumps out of my head. He just fought in England.
Riddle.
Riddle. Thank you. Let's talk about Riddle. Do I hate him? Do I hate his style? Am I going to try to get him out of here now? And I'm going to... Riddle fights just like Fitch. Same fight. Well, he has been lately. Anyway, he went from being super exciting to now, you know, he wants to grab your legs and hold you down and lay, you know. This is mixed martial arts. What made the Eric Silva-Jon Fitch fight so great is that Eric Silva could actually neutralize his wrestling a little bit and hit him with some strikes. That's what made it such a great fight. You know, it actually goes the other way. If you're a guy who can actually be laid on, Shea Mills, people are fucking, Shea Mills was cut? If you didn't know how I felt about the way Shea Mills fought that night, this is the UFC. This is the pinnacle of this sport. The best fighters in the world fight here, okay? And if you get that top position with 35 seconds left, and then you just stand there, and then you stand up, and then you walk away, and then you get double-legged again for the last 25 seconds, you didn't want that fucking fight bad enough. Fans are going crazy. I mean, he was tired. Well, if you're that fucking tired in 3 rounds, you don't belong here either. You should be in better shape than that.
So what's your recommendation to fighters?
The recommendation is this is a fucking combat sport, one of the toughest sports in the world, and anybody who's a professional athlete, you know you have that window, make the fucking most of it while you're here.
So is it better to fight safe and try to get the win so you don't get cut, or is it better to go out there and maybe you get knocked out?
If that's the way you think when you go out and fight, maybe you shouldn't be here either. What you should do is you should go out and try to be the best in the world. And you should try to whoop everybody's asses impressively. It depends on how much money you want to make, you know? Do you want to go around and lay on guys? How many people are beating down the door, you know, to see any of those guys fight again? You know, and actually, the response that Jon Fitch has had is awesome. I'm glad that many people are behind him and support him. That's not a bad thing. Good for him, you know? But I can tell you this, Jon Fitch isn't cheap. So, good. You know, Viacom MMA has some money. So he can go out there right now, he can go out on the free market and find out exactly what he's worth. In any sport, anybody who owns a team or a league or anything like that, when you look at your, here's another fact. We have 470 something guys under contract, okay? We have over 100 guys too many. We have over 100 guys too many on the roster right now, okay? So what's gonna happen is, when you lose, listen, the blood has not all been spilled yet. There's more coming.
It's not every day you cut a top 10 fighter though.
Yeah.
And that's why.
Top 10 fighter on his way down the ladder.
Well, yeah.
Not on his way up the ladder.
Maybe so, but Jon Fitch only lost 3 times in 7 years.
Yeah.
And he tied Hoist.
And guess what's going to happen to Jon Fitch? He will end up at Bellator or one of these other organizations, and he will win a world title. He'll be a champion there. He will smash every single guy over there, and he'll be a champion.
If he gets a few fights outside, do you think you'd welcome him back?
When has that never happened? The guy goes out, wins a few fights, has some impressive runs, and then comes back. I mean, this isn't the first guy we've ever cut. And the whole thing like, this is the fucking biggest disaster in the history of the world. This shit's crazy. The guy's going this way. He's not going that way. He didn't go fucking 9, 7, 6, 5, 4 and we cut him. He went number 1 to fucking number 9. And he's super fucking expensive. And he'll end up somewhere and he can come back.
Is that it, kind of like you mentioned Kane deserving a re-up? You gave him the re-up even though you didn't need to. This is kind of the opposite of that. Is that how you view it?
This is the business. This is the sports business. It's the way it happens. You know, I mean, there's no better explanation than Charles Woodson. The guy won the Heisman Trophy for defense. You know, defensive player. And you know, he just got cut.
You could counter that, though, that Charles could go to another NFL team and he's still playing in the NFL, the brand of the NFL. For
Yeah.
Jon, you strip the UFC brand. It's difficult in that sense.
You guys are independent contractors.
That's the sport. That's life. And this is what I always tell these guys, man. When we talk, we are only as good as our last fight. Not you. We, all of us, me, the UFC, and the fighters, we all feel it. When you have a bad fight and you go on a skid, it's not good for any of us.
Were you expecting this type of, fallout from the fans when cutting Jon Fitch? Were you expecting to get this type of reaction, or is it a little shocking?
I never even thought about it. Yeah. It's awesome. That's good. I'm happy that the fans are behind Jon Fitch. You know what I mean? It's good. I don't hate Jon Fitch. I don't dislike Jon Fitch. But to say that this is like the biggest fucking tragedy in the history of the world and all the shit that was coming, I was like, This is fucking ridiculous. First and foremost, when you get in here, yeah, people like, oh, they're gonna start kicking real fucking guys out to bring in the women and stuff. No, what's happened is, again, contrary to fucking popular belief, we're good guys. Guys lose some fights and they're, you know what? Dan Hardy puts it out there all the time. We're gonna keep Dan Hardy. I want to keep Dan Hardy. I want to keep Leonard Garcia because the guy's got fucking heart and he comes in and fights and does this and then you get into a situation where you got a lot of guys here.
How long is the rope then for a guy like Uriah Faber?
Yeah, could be Saturday. You never know. There's over 100 guys. We're heavy.
Faber, you started to talk about it and then you jumped back to Faber.
Yeah, I mean, he's in one of those situations too. Yeah, definitely. Saturday could be a bad day for him. Got 100 guys, over 100 guys.
Dana reports out of Brazil.
Any guy out there, and then again, going back to, so what does the guy do? Does he fight safe? Does he do this? Oh, they're going to incentivize him. Let me tell you what you better do. You better fight your fucking ass off, make it good, and win. That's the only way people want to see you. People want to see you when you're exciting. You know? Unfortunate. Sucks. It'd be nice if you could just go lay on a guy for 3 rounds and people would love it and want to buy all your pay-per-views. Welcome to the fucking real world, guys. That's not how it works.
You mentioned people asking is this sport? Is this entertainment? Is this business? What is it? Because in a sport, if you win, you're around. You know, if you're ranked, you're around. How do you balance that all out?
How do you figure that? If you're in a sport and you're ranked, and what exactly does that mean? It's different. It's not. This isn't football or basketball. We're talking about combat sports. So you either have this or boxing to compare it to. Okay. And if you look at boxing, you have guys that are ranked. There's fucking 20 different rankings, and guys are all over the place. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that a guy actually, just because he's ranked number 9, this isn't a guy that was on his way up. He's like going up like a fucking missile, and we're like, that's it. He's at number 3, cut this guy. He's fucking making too much money. He's doing this and doing that. The guy is on a skid. Whether you want to admit it, you want to look at his record, or however you want to do it, a skid is a skid. A draw, 2 losses and a win, and the win is over a kid who hasn't fought anybody. I said, first and foremost, don't ever think that this isn't a business, because it is. Number 1, right. It is a business. Number 2, Jon Fitch makes a lot of money. He gets paid a lot of money, and he's on a skid, he's on his way down, whether he's ranked number 9 in the world or not. It doesn't mean that he's still, you know, that he's still going to stick around here. There's 100 more guys going to go. Did you hear that one?
Yes.
So it's not over. Right. There's going to be other guys that are going to go. Some of the names that were thrown up there, I mean, Shea Mills, super nice guy. I like Shea Mills. Shea Mills showed me that night he did not want it. And I go back to Bobby Green. Bobby Green fought Volkman. Bobby Green did not fucking quit in that fight. Referee screwed him big time. Right when he finally gets that top position and he's doing damage, she stands him up, right? The kid stayed in there and he fought to the end, and he fought till he won. If you want to stay in this fucking company, that's how you better fight. That's what you better do.
Be Bobby Volkman? Or Volkman?
Yeah.
Bobby Green?
Yeah, be Bobby Green, man. Be those kids. Those fucking kids that came in that night from Strikeforce were so hungry. They were hungry, man. And that's what I want. I want guys that are hungry. Do I like Jon Fitch? Yes. Do I dislike him in any way? No. Do I respect him as a fighter? Yes, I do. But not the biggest tragedy on earth. He will end up somewhere else, and if he keeps winning, he will come back. And if he does end up somewhere else, he will become a champion. Nobody will beat him in any other organization.
So
anything that you don't like, any decision that you don't like and you think is wrong and stupid and fucked up, is me. Blame me.